Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from SegaCityUniverse.com and Graves.entertainment.com, and this is a video response to a YouTuber I really like that I watch. It's David A. Khoa. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your last name right. I'm going to put his video down in the description. He had been doing videos as of late about some of his favorite series of movies, why he liked them, and he showed off what he had. So I don't have anything too spectacular, but I am bidding on something that's pretty cool that I'll mention at the end. So, as you can see, I have my Chimpin' Ain't Easy. I think that's Cornelius. Could be Galen, but I think it's Cornelius. Shirt from Planet of the Apes. Now, if you don't know me very well, this is a tidbit of Mike information. Planet of the Apes is one of my favorite films. I love this series. The Tim Burton one was okay, and the reboot was very good. I like that a lot too. Nothing is as good as the original series of movies, but I do love it nonetheless. Planet of the Apes, I always say to people, is my Star Wars. I'm actually not a Star Wars fan. Please don't leave me any hateful comments. I just never got into it. I've seen the first film a couple times. It really didn't do it for me. And when I say the first film, I mean the initial release, not the prequels that came out later. So I guess I'm really saying the fourth film. Not a fan, and this is my Star Wars. So I'm just going to show off some of the stuff I have. Nothing really special, but it's just the way David has shown his. So pretty recently, I'd say about a year or two ago, I had read the book that the movie was based on. This was made obviously after the movies to cash in on the popularity of the series, because the front of it has the astronauts with Taylor, and the back of it has Nova and Taylor. Well, Taylor and Nova laying on the floor together. So, excellent book. It's originally by a Frenchman named Pierre Boulez. I'm probably saying that wrong. He also wrote Bridge Over the River Kwai, which was a pretty good movie, a little slow, but pretty good and interesting. I think the original title wasn't Planet of the Apes, it was like Monkey World or something. But when it was translated, they called it Planet of the Apes, I think. Don't quote me on that. The book is excellent. The cool part was, I loved the series so much that I thought, okay, well, the book is just going to be the first movie. It wasn't. It's similar. There's definitely some big differences, and the ending is totally different. So if you watch the movie and you loved it, the book is like almost an expansion. It's really interesting, some of the stuff they added, and the ending is a twist. So excellent book. The movie came out, I believe, in '68, the original film, and then they did 4 sequels. Just gonna go over them real quick. So, Planet of the Apes, this is the one with Charlton Heston. This is the DVD set, by the way. This is the Evolution box set that I just repurchased for $5.98 shipped. So, I just wanted this to have it. I used to have the Legacy set, but I think this one has like some more additions to it in terms of like audio and stuff that you can choose from. The Legacy set I sold when I got my Blu-rays, but I kind of regretted it. So I just got this back, this Evolution set, for $5.98, as I said. So the first film is the one everyone really knows, with the Statue of Liberty and all that cool stuff. I mean, geez, it's on the front and the back. So if you didn't know what that means, you probably got spoiled now. Sorry about that. Amazing film, lots of social commentary. This is another reason I love it, and it's one of my favorite sci-fi movies. On top of loving apes, the animals I think are very interesting. I love the social commentary. I love the goofiness of it sometimes when they come off as funny. They're portraying society as apes and the hatred between the apes and the humans. So I love the first film great deal. Then they did the sequel, which also has Charlton Heston, but his part is much smaller. It also has Nova, who is Linda Harrison, and her part's, I'd say, smaller to a degree. This is about a gentleman named Brent who, much like Charlton Heston's story, lands on the Planet of the Apes. I'm not going to give away anything while I'm talking about these movies. Lands on the Planet of the Apes and ends up beneath the Planet of the Apes in this underground subway system, and he meets these people who have an atomic bomb that they worship. So without saying too much, that's the second film, which I think is my least favorite of the original series, but that still doesn't say much because it's still a good movie. It just got a little goofier with the people below the the subway system, the way they made them out to be. Then we have Escape from Planet of the Apes, which is, oh, how can I not spoil this one? But, okay, I'll try not to. Cornelius and Zira leave the Planet of the Apes and go to Earth in the 70s, and they become like a celebrity item, and they, all this stuff happens to them, and they end up having a child. Now, I don't want to give away too much, but they end up having a child. And that is pretty much this one. This one people refer to as, I love this one. It's extremely, extremely sad. I think I cried during it at one point, and you can laugh all you want, I don't care. And people say this one's almost like a TV movie. Like, it kind of gets funny at points, and then it gets really sad really quick. Then the fourth movie is, I always mix these two up because of the names. I think it's, yeah, Conquest. This is my probably second or third favorite of the series. I would say this and Escape are up there for me. Conquest is when the son of Zira and Cornelius revolts. And this is kind of like what the story alluded to as to how the apes took over. They were initially slaves. There's the social commentary again. And then they eventually start evolving, and then they revolt against their human masters, and that's where the friction comes from. So excellent movie, lots of great social commentary, and Caesar is played by Roddy McDowall, who was Cornelius in the first film and I think the third film. I don't think he was in Beneath the Planet of the Apes. I think they might have changed him out on that one. I think he couldn't make the movie on that one. Yeah, so he couldn't be in the second one, but he's in the rest of them. He's even in the TV series. So excellent, excellent movie. Then it got a little goofy, but still good. In a very Road Warrior-esque type of film, there's Battle for the Planet of the Apes, which is Roddy McDowall's character. Caesar's older now. He has a kid, and the humans and them still don't get along, but they're trying to come to some kind of amends, but they're fighting over, they're fighting with the humans that are like the people who were from the city, like the government officials and stuff, and they were all weird and like Road Warriored out and like trucks and stuff. So it's like the fighting. Good ending, excellent ending. The movie gets a little goofy, but the ending is very good, and it shows. I can't ruin this really, but it shows how the time hopefully now has changed, and things are not what they become for the Planet of the Apes. But you don't know. It could go either way. So the ending is kind of vague and ambiguous, but it can go either way. Then there's the Behind the Planet of the Apes, which is its own disc. On the Blu-ray, it's on the first movie's disc. It's an excellent documentary with Roddy McDowall talking about the films and the makeup, and it's 2 hours. The films and the makeup, and some of the funny stuff about how even on the set, because there was not tension, but the way how in like real life, if you're born into a culture, and let's say for instance, I'm Italian American, you meet other Italian Americans, and you have an underlying connection with them because you were raised similarly or get along because of whatever similarities. Not to say that you're not as close to other nationalities, but okay, it is what it is. This is talking about some of the funny parts that I really liked was even the underlying, when they would go to lunch, the chimps would sit with the chimps, the gorillas would sit with the gorillas, I guess because they worked with them all day, but it's like almost like this separation, this segregation of the different ape species, and I guess that would be called species, right? You know what I'm saying. And I think that's really funny and interesting that they did that. Probably subconsciously. I don't even think they did it on purpose. It's not like they said, oh, fuck these chimps, we're going to go sit with the gorillas. They just did it. So the humans sat with the humans, the apes, all split up. So I always thought that was really funny in the documentary, that it says something, about society. So I also have them on Blu-ray. I don't have the box. I just have the sets separately. The reason is they now make them all together, these exact discs. Excuse me one moment, I'm gonna come back to this. Sorry about that, guys, I got a phone call. I hate doing that. I was on a roll too. So, oh, I mixed that one in there by mistake. Okay, so The Blu-rays, the 5 of them, come together in a bundle now, like in a package with a cardboard box. I don't recall what the cover is. I think it's might be this. I'm not really sure. Oh no, I think it's different. Anyhow, that wasn't available when I purchased these. There was a box set that was in this nice sleeve, but when the sleeve opened, it only had those foam kind of circles that you would put the discs on, and people would say that the foam would break, or like it was hard to get the discs in and out, and eventually it would fall off, that they were cheaply made. So I opted for the discs, but they didn't have that nice casing, then I just bought them separately. They're exactly the same as every other Blu-ray release, but there's more. I think there's some new featurettes, and the first movie has the Behind the Planet of the Apes documentary, which is amazing. I think it's just SD quality though on this. I don't think it's like upgraded. They also did. Let's see what order this came in. I don't really remember. I think the TV show came out first. Doesn't say. Oh, 75. 74. Okay. Then they did the TV series, which has Ron Harper and... Oh, wait. Well, there's Ron Harper on the cover, but James Naughton is not. I don't know if I see a picture of James Naughton in here. You know him if you see him. He's in a good deal of... I don't see James Naughton on anything. That's weird. So anyway, James Naughton and Ron Harper are the main stars of the TV series, along with Galen. Galen is an ape that is played by Roddy McDowall. He's a scientist because he's a chimp. Chimps are usually scientists in Planet of the Apes. And there's a couple tie-ins. This is supposed to be a prequel to the film, or first 5 films. So it's 900 years in the future. The things that people get pissed off about with the series, 3 things. A, the TV series never officially ended. They canceled it halfway through because it did poorly with American audiences, but did very well in Europe, supposedly. So, I think there's 13 episodes, 14. One of them was never aired, so that's on there, so that's cool, but the series doesn't really end. They have an adventure, and then it ends, and then that's it. They don't really show the ending. Eventually, there was these things on TV, like these TV movies, and when they show a TV movie, I don't know if it was particularly a Planet of the Apes movie, they would have a character from a whatever pop up at the beginning or the end of the movie and talk. So they had Galen come back and explain how eventually the 2 figures from the show, James Naughton's character and Ron Harper's character, eventually did find what they needed to with their computer parts, get back and fix their aircraft and leave and go home back to where they came from without spoiling too much. But that was never in the TV show. 2 other things is the character Galen is mentioned in the Planet of the Apes first film, but I don't see how that would make sense. They mention, excuse me, they don't mention this Galen. They mention a scientist named Galen in the movies, and I think that's in the first and the third films they mention him. And that's the name of this character, but it could just be that the name is common. Also, Dr. Zaius is in this, and I don't know if you're supposed to believe it's the same Dr. Zaius or just another Dr. Zaius that was in that Lifeline, or just a guy with the same name, orangutan with the same name. But it's 900 years in the past from the first film. So how could that Dr. Zaius and this Dr. Zaius be the same? But anyway, it's an excellent TV series, and they always have to solve a little adventure or do something. There's also the social commentary aspect of it, with the apes and the humans not getting along, and the humans being like servants. And there's no ending, which sucks, but the show was very good. Then they did the cartoon, which is pretty good. I like it, but it's it didn't. I don't remember too much of it, and the animation back then was very minimalistic. So a lot of the stuff looks like zoomed in things that they just like moved, and it's pretty good. I want to rewatch it again soon, but it's Return to the Planet of the Apes. I'm trying to think if anyone like big did the voices or anything. Well, Cornelius is in it, and Zira and Urko. Urko is from. See, that doesn't make sense either. Cornelius and Zira are from the first film and the second and third films, while Urko is the general from the TV series 900 Years in the Past. So there's going to be some stuff that overlaps that shouldn't, but it was a pretty good cartoon series. It was very old-fashioned, so that was cool too. Return. Then Mark Wahlberg did this movie with Tim Burton. And Tim Burton, like always, casted his wife. Or maybe he met her here, I don't remember. I thought it was in something else, though. And it's an interesting take on things. It has some ties to the book. I really appreciate the makeup. The makeup's really cool. I wasn't completely fond of Mark Wahlberg being the choice for the main character. The ending is different, but it's interesting. It was good. It held my attention. I liked it. I'd give it a 7, you know? It's a good movie. It's just not my favorite out of the series at all. It's probably my least favorite, but it's still good. If you got into it on this one, I suggest you go back and watch the old ones. But it was, you know, pretty good stuff. And then they rebooted it recently. I think this was, what, 11 or 12? Whoop. Man down. 11. 2011, they rebooted it with Rise of the Planet of the Apes. This was just called Planet of the Apes. I don't know if the Mark Wahlberg. I don't know if I said that. This is Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and this reboots the series. It makes it different. It changes a lot of things, and it's a great film. And Caesar is mentioned. He's the main character. He's the main ape in it as a child, and he grows up. And it's not the same Caesar, I believe, from the first film. You know, from the films when he revolts with his apes. But you know, it's cool that they made mention and used that character again. And they also have a lot of references to the first few films. There's a toy of the Statue of Liberty at one point, and I think they made in John Lithgow's hand. He's playing like a toy of the Statue of Liberty, like a puzzle. There's 2 apes named, I think, Cornelia and Zira or something. It's like Cornelius. It's Cornelia. It's a girl. There's a lot of references that are pretty cool. I'm trying to think what the other ones were. They show a clip from the first film at one point in the background on a TV. I can't remember the rest of them right now, but there's a lot of cool little references, and it was a great movie. They really rebooted it well. The only thing I would say I didn't like is there's points in time where you can realize it's CG, that the ape is completely CG. The ape is played by Caesar is played by Andy Serkis, the gentleman who did he was Gollum in the Lord of the Rings series, so he's very good. And hopefully the new one is going to come out, I think, in 2014, and that's Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and that's just continuing the story. I don't want to ruin what happens in this, but yeah, I don't want to say anything because I'll end up ruining it. But that continues the story, and Andy Serkis is in that again. So they rebooted it really good. I thought that the reboot was excellent. It was different. So as you know, I don't know if I mentioned it in the past, I have a tattoo of a gorilla on my chest. I mentioned it in a previous video, actually, about addictions, and that's my Planet of the Apes tribute tattoo. I always thought the gorillas were really cool and angry in it, so I call him General Urko, even though he could be Ursus or Aldo or any of the other gorillas. But thank you, David, for posting your video. You completely inspired me to talk about my love for Planet of the Apes and how it means a lot to me. Also, what I meant to mention was my father and I believe, watched, I recall watching it when I was a kid a little bit, and him telling me how he liked it a lot, and it meant, you know, a lot to him. So I relate that to my dad as well, which is really nice and special for me, that, you know, about these films, except I went off, you know, where he I think just seen the first couple, but that's really it. I thought there was something I wanted to go back and talk about the first film, but I don't remember. Oh, my bidding. I'm bidding on eBay on a picture that is signed with certificate of authenticity by Charlton Heston, Kim Hunter, who is Zira, Roddy McDowall, who plays Cornelius in the first films, and then he plays Caesar and Galen in the other ones. And who did I say? It's Charlton Heston, Kim Hunter, Roddy McDowall, and Linda Harrison, who plays Nova. She's sadly the only one left from the original Planet of the Apes film in terms of the main characters. She played Nova. She was like the love interest of Taylor. So I'm hoping I win that. I can get that framed and, as a fly, I can get that framed and post it in my dining room where I have all my pictures and stuff. So thanks guys for watching. I hope you found some of it interesting. I hope maybe I piqued your interest to watch the films or check out the comics. I didn't read the comics. I hope to get a bust eventually too for my dining room, some kind of cool bust. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. It's Vampire Mike from SegaCityUniverse.com and GravesEntertainment.com. Ape must never kill ape.